Game student athlete webinar. As a reminder, this call is being recorded today on Monday, November 27th, 2023. We'd like to thank all the media for joining us today. We look forward to welcoming many of you to Indianapolis later this week. Today's call will feature 10 minutes with each of three players from both the Big Ten East and West Division champions, with Michigan going first. Individuals wishing to ask a question should raise their hand in the chat window of their screen, and we will call on you and provide the opportunity to unmute to ask your question. As each player cycles out, we will lower those hands just so we don't have any overlap and we can keep things streamlined from subject to subject. As a reminder, a recording of this webinar will be available after its conclusion at the virtual press box, which you can find at big10.org/FCG media. If you type that into your browser right now, you'll find a lot of information on this weekend's game and also a recording of yesterday's coaches webinar. So first today, we have Michigan senior running back Blake Corum. Blake, thank you so much for joining us. If you could give a couple of quick opening comments on Saturday's matchup, and then we'll open it up for media questions.
You guys hear me? Good.
Oh, good.
Cool. Yeah, and appreciate you. But Saturday's matchup, big matchup. Especially big for me. I feel like everything's coming to a full circle. Being healthy. Last time I played in the Big Ten championship game wasn't against Purdue, it was against Iowa, just like this upcoming Saturday, and I still wasn't healthy that game. So big matchup. Iowa has always, had a strong defense. So we definitely have to prepare really well for their defense and what they have to bring. I know their best player on the team is hurt, from what I know. So I'm praying for him, but that's something that we don't have to worry about, because he's a really good player. But it's huge, back to 3 times. This will be our 3rd time to Big Ten championship in 3 years. It's been a heck of a journey. So, I'm super excited to get to Indy. But first, we just had to take care of work this week and go from there.
Thank you, Blake. As a reminder, if you would like to ask a question, please raise your hand in the chat window. Our first question today goes to Larry Lage. Larry, you can unmute and ask.
Sorry about that. Blake, hello. Can you share your emotions on having Coach Harbaugh back on the sideline Saturday?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to have Coach Harbaugh back. It's been a long 3 games, but it's been a good 3 games as well. And I know just having his enthusiasm back, his pregame speeches, just having his presence back on the sideline will go a long way. So like I said, it's been a tough 3 weeks, but we've still been winning. We've been able to take care of business, but having him back on the sideline for the Big Ten championship game will mean a lot. So I'm super excited to have Coach back. It's going to be great. It's going to be like a reunion.
Our next question goes to Adam Rittenberg.
Yeah, Blake, just along those lines, what are some of the things about what Coach Harbaugh does on game days that maybe we don't know that you guys have experienced that obviously you now get a chance to have that again for such a big game?
Something I look forward to is just hearing his pregame speech. It kind of gets the hair sticking up on my arms, gets me ready to run through a wall, so I've definitely missed hearing that, but honestly, just his presence, what he brings to the table, the way he operates. So I guess those would be the 2 main things, but just him being back in general is a bonus for us. I know the players are fired up. I'm fired up. And I know he's super fired up, so, but definitely, his pregame speech, man, I absolutely love it.
Our next question is for Fago Franklin.
Hey, Blake, this season, what are you learning about yourself as you continue to evolve into an impressive elite player?
I continuously learn a lot about myself, but, this year for me, something I learned about myself is just like, I just have to be where my feet are. and cherish each and every moment. For me, it hasn't really been about learning, what can I do better on the field, but more so just cherishing each and every moment, because I've been blessed, to be at such a prestigious school like University of Michigan and have the best fan base. And, so this last year, me coming back, I really just wanted to grow in that aspect of just making sure I'm where my feet are, cherishing every moment, taking advantage of every opportunity that comes my way. And I feel like I've done that. It's been a great senior year. I have a bunch of great memories. I didn't think about the NFL all year. I kind of just focused on the moment, embraced the moment, and loved the moment. So that's what I would say where I've seen growth and what I've done this year. Yeah.
Our next question comes from Angelique Chenglis.
Like a year ago, you were about to have knee surgery. You missed this game. What was that? What was your mindset like a year ago when you had to miss this game?
It was tough. I don't know if missing the Big Ten championship game was tougher or being on the sidelines at the TCU game. It was tough. I remember I just got out of surgery. I was in California, laid up in the hotel bed with my dad, and just watching the game through a screen. I couldn't do nothing but cheer, and think about what I saw, through the camera, through the TV, and it was tough. It was very emotional. I wanted to be there so bad, but everything happens for a reason. And look at me now. I'm getting ready. I'm getting prepared for Andy right now, and it's going to be a heck of a time come Saturday.
We've got time for one or two more for Blake. Our next question comes from Mello Williams.
Yes, Blake, congratulations on winning the Big Ten East. What do you feel is the biggest key for the offense going against Iowa's number 7 defense?
Yeah, I think we just have to stick to our roots. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we should have to change anything. I don't believe in that. I believe when something is working, you stick to it. You maybe sharpen it up a little bit and change a couple things here and there. But I think we just have to stick to our identity. You know what I'm saying? We have to just play Michigan football. Obviously Iowa's a heck of a defense. They've always been a heck of a defense. I remember when we played them last year, we had to go to Iowa. They were great. They had Jack Campbell and, you name it, Cooper DeJean. They still had all those players. So, going against a tough defense, you just have to prepare for it, and that's what we're going to continue to do. But, just be ourselves, man. Don't change anything at all. Just prepare a little more and, come Saturday, hopefully we show that.
Our last question for Blake will come from Aaron McMahon.
Blake, given everything that's gone on this year, what would winning a Big Ten championship mean to you?
It would almost mean everything to me. To win against. Let me rewind. At the beginning of the year, I promised all these things. You know what I'm saying? And I promised to beat Ohio State. I promised to go to Big Ten championship and this and that. And we're doing it. So winning the Big Ten championship would mean a lot, but I wouldn't say it means everything. Let me take that back. It would mean a lot though, because we've been through a lot. We've been through called all types of names. People don't think we're good at football because of this and that, and just so much going on. Coach gets suspended for 3 games, and linebacker coach gets fired. Just so many things getting thrown at you. But what do? We stand tall. We stood tall. We came together even more, and I didn't even think this team could come together even more than we already were. Because this is a tight knit team right here. So we've handled it in a mature way. So winning this Big Ten championship would mean a lot. But I like speaking things into existence. So after we won the Big Ten championship, we still have a lot to prove. But I believe our team is great. And we're going against a great team in Iowa, so it should be a great matchup, and I'm super excited about it.
Blake, we really appreciate your time. Good luck this week. We'll see you in Indianapolis.
Appreciate it. My boy Mikey right here, ready? Come on.
You see, I'm in the BC2 fan club.
Next on the webinar today from the Big Ten East champions is Wolverines graduate student defensive back Mikey Sainristil. Mikey, if you could give an opening statement just with some general thoughts about this coming weekend, and then we'll open it up for questions. As a reminder, if you would like to ask a question, please raise your hand in the chat.
Definitely excited to, take advantage of this opportunity we have in front of us, in a rematch against Iowa for the Big Ten championship. Very exciting. Unfortunately, we don't get to play against our, former teammates, Cade and Eric. But, I've already spoken to Eric. He's super fired up. Haven't had a chance to talk to Cade yet. But, as far as his team goes, man, I'm so happy we're in this position. It's a great position to be in. With Coach Harbaugh, coming back, we're all fired up. We're all ready to go. And, I'm just excited for a great week of preparation for Saturday.
Our first question comes from Aaron McMahon.
Mikey, kind of going off what you were just talking about, was there a part of you at the beginning of the year that was hoping you'd face Eric and Cade in the Big Ten championship again?
Oh yeah, I mean, we knew, them two guys transferring over there was gonna help, that team tremendously. A team that already has a really good defense. Just them two alone going over there and being able to add to, what that offense does schematically would help that team out a lot. But it's unfortunate for them both to have the injuries that they suffered this season. But we talked about it. We said, look, Cade and Eric are going over there. That Iowa team is probably going to be, who we see if we handle everything how we need to in the Big Ten championship.
Again, if you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand in the chat. Our next question for Mikey comes from Fago Franklin.
Hey, Mike, for you, what does it mean to you to not just be a leader on the field, but show class and character off the field? Because your coach gave you a lot of praise.
I would say, the way I handle myself off of the field is exactly how I'm able to handle myself on the field. Just being somebody who's always looking to do the right things, who's always looking to, put other people first, take care of my family, take care of myself. It's funny because I spoke about this with Coach yesterday. If you do those two things, then you'll always be able to take care of the team, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So just being someone who, wake up, take care of my bed, clean whatever's around the house, do the things I have to do necessary before I step into the building, get myself on the right path for the day. It allows me to, have a great rest of my day every single day. So, just how I carry myself outside of here is what helps me, carry myself inside of this building, as well as the group of people that I'm surrounded by, who are always, helping me find ways to elevate while elevating themselves. It just works hand in hand.
Our next question comes from Larry Lage.
Can you share with us when's the first time you communicated with or saw Coach Harbaugh personally and as a team after the game Saturday?
I sent Coach Harbaugh a text after the game, just saying, Coach, we did that for you, love you. Quick text like that. He texted me back. But I didn't see him until yesterday. So I know I think I saw, a couple things out there, like where did Coach watch the game? And J.J. said they were trying to get him into Chrysler or whatever. He didn't want, I don't know. But yeah, I didn't see him till Sunday, yesterday.
Our next question is from Angelique Chenglis.
Mikey, two quick questions. Have you had a chance to visit with Zach, and how devastating was that for the team in that moment? And my second question is, everybody focuses on Iowa's defense and how strong it is, but what have you seen from their offense?
So for your first question, I sent Zach a text after the game, just saying, we're with you. I told you we have your back. Because I was able to say, a few words to him before they carted him off. He texted me back, and then later on he posted that night. So that was really good to see, really uplifting. I'm super proud of this team for how we handled that situation. I think it gave us a big momentum shift, and confidence boost as well as just being able to score literally the play after he got hurt. That meant a lot to his team, but that just goes to show like how we say we have each other's backs. And then, as far as Iowa's offense, with, like I said, with Cade being out and, some issues in the tight end room with Eric being hurt and I forgot the other tight end's last name. I'm pretty sure he's hurt as well. So there's some struggles there, but they're probably, going to come out, run the ball, and, try to, take control over the line of scrimmage, early on in the game and, potentially set up play action, movement passes, 12 personnel heavy team, 21 personnel heavy team. So, I'm just, looking forward to the game plan that we have for him.
Time for one or two more from Mikey. Our next question is from Brandon Brown.
Yeah, Mikey, with all the success that you've had on defense, I just wonder, do you think back to when you first got to Michigan and kind of asked, like, how didn't I start out here in the first place? You played wide receiver. We're pretty good there too, but just the level of success you've had as a DB.
No, I've never thought about it that way. I guess, I'm just happy, there's everything has its own time, God has a plan for you. And, I'm thankful that I was able to, just trust the process and let everything fall in place how it fell in place. Never, trying to rush things, just being patient and, staying where my feet are. Just, when I was playing receiver, I wanted to be the best version of a receiver I could be. Now moving to DB, I want to be the best DB I could be. So, I'm glad I am where I am at the moment.
Our last question from Mikey comes from Michael Cohen.
Hey, Mike, I know you're not a defensive lineman, but from what you've observed about Coach Elston or heard from your teammates, what has he done to develop Mason and Kenneth so well, in addition to the talent that those two guys already have?
I see the, what they do in pre-practice and even during practice, like drills, the fundamental stuff they do. And, he coaches those guys very hard. And, those are players who accept the coaching, listen to the coaching, and aren't afraid of criticism. And so when you have players who are able to take coaching from a very great coach as well, someone who played the position, who literally played in, the same uniform you wear, sat in the same seats you sat. There's a direct connection there. So it's not hard to be coached by someone like that. And Coach Elston's a guy who's, constantly fired up. Energy's always through the roof. And, if I was a D lineman, I'd say it's fun to play for a coach like that.
Mikey, thank you very much for your time today. Good luck this week in practice. We'll see you in Indianapolis.
Thank you.
As a reminder of what I said earlier, the Big Ten Football Championship Game virtual press box is live now. I've dropped that URL in the chat if you're looking for it.
Numbers and emails. Okay.
All right. That's Paul Kennedy there.
How we doing, Paul?
We're doing great, JJ. Welcome. We appreciate your time.
Thank you
our
so much
last
for having me.
Of the Big Ten East champion Michigan Wolverines is junior quarterback J.J. McCarthy. JJ, we appreciate you taking the time. If you could give a quick opening comment on this weekend's Big Ten championship game, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Just extremely honored to be in this position again. Just great effort throughout the entire season, and the job's not finished yet, so still got a lot more to go, and excited for this week. Looking forward to it.
As a reminder, if you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand in the chat. Our first question for JJ will come from Larry Lage. Larry, you can unmute and ask.
Okay. JJ, can you describe your interactions with Jim Harbaugh on game day at the stadium? Like, when's the first time you kind of see him face to face? What does he do with you, say to you, now that he'll be back?
I actually haven't gotten the opportunity to see him since Saturday, but I saw him in the morning, obviously, and just, he told me to do me, go out there and have fun, and it was pretty simple, just the same things he tells me every week.
So I'm sorry, on game day, I think we see some of the clips of him like pounding you in the shoulder pads when he's with you on game day, as he will be. Like, when, is it after you do meditation? Like, do you have like a timing or routine with him? Like, and does he hit your shoulder pads like that and kind of get you ready physically every game? Is that, or just sometimes?
Yes, that's every game, and it's usually like right before kickoff. He'll come and find me, and he's all about like getting that first hit, and the butterflies just get disintegrated from your body. So he tries to do his best to kind of simulate that, and it's a nice little weekly tradition that I can't wait to get back.
Our next question comes from Tony Garcia.
Yeah. Hey, JJ. You keep saying the last couple of weeks, job's not finished. Can you just talk about the balance between keeping things one game at a time, knowing that there are bigger goals ahead, while also knowing this is a Big Ten championship, and obviously this was, something that this program was yearning for just a few years ago.
Yeah, I think, the interesting thing about this group is that we don't really keep it one game at a time. We keep it one day at a time and try to focus on, all the daily victories that are presented to us every single day. So I think it just keeps us, on that one track mind that Coach Harbaugh always talks about, and trying to win the day at the end of the day. It's not about, the game on Saturday as much as, what are we doing today to beat, our mantra, beat Ohio State. We treat it every single day like that. So keeps it pretty simple to stay, in the present and focused on the day at hand in the task at hand.
Our next question is from Adam Rittenberg.
JJ, just kind of following up on what Larry asked me, what are some of the other things that Coach Harbaugh brings on game day that maybe you haven't had the last few weeks that you're really looking forward to having, that just for yourself and just for the team as a whole?
Just, his presence. You never know what's going to come out of that man's mouth, but when anything that does, it's just always at the right time and, the right words that are said. So I feel like just having him around the locker room, pre-game, where he just kind of goes around everybody and pumps them up in some way, go kill him, champ, go out there, do you, just little stuff like that makes a huge, profound impact.
Our next question is from Andrew Kahn.
JJ, hey, I'm wondering if you've had any communication with your old pal, Alan Bowman, and, if you're aware that, he'll be playing for a championship on Saturday too.
Wow, I didn't even know that, but, so happy for him. We talked a little bit during the season just on FaceTime, seeing how he was and how we were doing, but, so happy for him. Like, I know how he attacks every day, just the love he has for getting better and, for the game of football. Just so awesome to see him, be in the stage he's at right now and perform the way he's performing, because he deserves all of it.
Our next question goes to Elliot Clough.
Hey, JJ, Elliot Clough, Rivals. Obviously, this is the second time in 2 years you faced the Iowa defense. That's a lot of the conversation around this game is for at least the Iowa media is around the defense, as it is every week. What kind of challenges do they present for you? And do you feel like you maybe have a little bit of an edge going back to that film from last year and looking at this year?
Coach Ferentz does a great job of making sure that they're well coached and in the right spots at all time. I feel like that's something about the Iowa defense that makes them so good all the time, is their discipline and, their techniques and their coverages and everything about it. They don't do a lot, but they do it really, really well. And obviously they have some athletes back there that can make plays and, get to the ball and disrupt the ball in the air. So I'd say the biggest thing, though, is just their discipline with, the rules and just not getting out of, what they do and allowing, busting coverage or rushing lanes to open up for me to scramble. So they're just very fundamentally sound.
Our next question is from Angelique Chengelis.
JJ, two quick ones. Jim today was talking about the media attention, all the noise around the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry, and he hopes people can put it in perspective that it's not healthy for the student athlete, is what he said. And did you notice that? And is that noise, does that affect you guys during Michigan-Ohio State weekend? And also I was going to ask about your lower body injury, your lower leg injury.
Yeah, I can see where Coach Harbaugh is coming from when he says that. I did a really good job of whatever big game it is. I just like delete all my social media. I try to stay off it as much as possible because, whatever you consume, visually, it does have an effect on you, whether you like it or not, or whether you allow it to or not. So I just try to, completely cut out all the noise and just focus on what's in front of me and staying present with my teammates. And my lower leg injury is almost perfectly healed. I mean, it was a rough couple of weeks, but, the athletic training staff did a tremendous job and, I attack treatment every single day. So it's doing good, but appreciate you asking.
Got time for a couple more questions for JJ. Our next one goes to Aaron McMahon.
JJ, just from a competitive standpoint, I know Iowa wasn't on the schedule before the season started. Were you hoping to, go up against Cade at all?
I wanted to, just be able to see him again. It's just amazing to see how both of our journeys turned out. And, it was obviously at the forefront of our mind at the beginning of the season to have that chance to play Cade and Eric again and just be able to see the guys at the end of the day, because two great guys, it would just be awesome to be, on the same field with them again. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Even though they're not playing, it would be great to see them.
Our next question is from Brandon Brown.
Yeah, JJ, both Coach Harbaugh and Coach Moore have said that they don't want to coach the playmaker out of you. And sometimes when you throw a ball, it's oh no, and then oh man, that was amazing. I'm wondering, do you ever feel that throw to Roman, for instance, was right between two Ohio State players? Do you ever let one go, second guess it for a moment, and then realize, it worked out how it was supposed to? How does that play out in your head?
Yeah, I'm a risk taker. I feel like it's a lot of situations in football where if you miss that opportunity to take that chance, you won't ever get it back. So, I just always err on the side of doing all the little things right throughout the week. So then when it does turn out to be, those 50-50 balls or those, kind of risky chances that I take, I'm putting in the work through the week of, just making sure that they end out on our side, favorable to us. And, that specific play, I was just doing film study all week on number 25. And whenever he turns his head, he doesn't look at the quarterback. So once I saw him put eyes on Roman, I knew he was only covering the width of his shoulders, and I just let it rip.
Our last question for JJ comes from Mello Williams.
Congratulations on winning the Big Ten East, and best wishes in Indy this weekend. Iowa has the number 7 ranked defense and is great at creating turnovers. How important will it be for Blake Corum to have a good game rushing the ball?
I think it all comes down to, obviously Blake's great and he's going to find, the space and open holes and stuff like that. But it just comes down to our offensive line, seeing, with Zach going out, it would be great to see them mesh really well this week and, be on the same page with everything at the running game, passing game. But Blake's gonna get his. He's just a tremendous player where it's like, if it isn't blocked the right way, he's gonna make it right. And that's what's so special about him. So he's gonna make his plays, but the offensive line, it's gonna be a great challenge for them to, be on the same page every single snap.
JJ, we really appreciate your time. Congratulations, and we will see you in Indianapolis.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your week.